And welcome back to Zanpakuto Creation Series. This comes to us from Lord High Admiral Squid, who asked the question. And that is Lord High Admiral Squid. Yep, Lord High Admiral Squid. You're getting a lot of videos this week, dude. Who asked the question, what is the Doctor's Zanpakuto? Now, obviously, I wasn't going to just use one version of the Doctor because they're all the Doctor. The Doctor just reincarnates over, its lifetime, its cycle of reincarnation, birth, and so forth and so on. But they all are, in essence, the same character in different form with different personality quirks, too. But the soul of who they are would remain the same. So it makes sense that the Zanpakuto, no matter what version we have here, it's the same one. So that said, what is the Zanpakuto of the Doctor? Well, first and foremost, this is definitely a keto type Zanpakuto. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind on that one. It would be a standard katana. Its release would be search, as in to look for, because the Doctor, while described as a great warrior, is also just a very intelligent individual. Its Shikai's name would be Truth Owl. Its Bankai would be All-Seeing Owl. The Truth Owl translating out to, roughly speaking, Senjutsu no Fukuru, and Bankai being Sabeti no Miru Fukuru. The spirit, Shocker, would be an owl, but it would be like a blue owl that looks kind of like, I didn't get an image up, but I should have. The spirit owl of the library from Avatar: Last Airbender. I think it would look something like that. The form this Zanpakuto would take, though, would not be a sword. Like, it wouldn't be it is sharpened, but it's not a offensive tool in general sense. It's actually, I think, even larger than like a Spartan shield, but it's a shield. But it's a sharpened shield on both sides, so it can have the both offense and defensive nature if it needs to. Now, that may seem odd for a keto type Zanpakuto, and admittedly, it kind of is. But the shield's basically, the shield absorbs information in the reflection of the shield itself. It's a very reflective shield, the shield. And it's capable of using the ability of whatever is used on it. Similar to something like, say, Jushiro's Sogyo no Kawati. Sogyo no Korowari. Hold on one second. I'm just going to get the name of that up here. Sogyo no Kotowari. I think that's what it is. Ukitake Zanpakuto, where it takes in an attack and then throws it back to the opponent. However, Ukitake is limited in what he can do, because as far as we know, it can't take a melee attack and throw it back. It's a bit closer to something like Raiga's attack, but it's not something that can just immediately just copy something, paste, and throw the copy at someone. It does need to analyze, needs to reflect an attack into its mirror, and it needs to be able to survive the attack before it can even use the attack. Assuming it gets hit, of course. And then it can use a deck. So if Yamamoto fired off a blast from Ryujin Jika, yes, he could analyze the attack and fire what his equivalent of that attack would be. Remember also that you are still limited by your Ryatsu as a Shinigami or as a person with a Zanpakuto. You will not be able to use that attack on the same level as that person. You might be able to use it on a greater level if you're stronger than that person. If the Doctor is a captain level opponent and a lieutenant used an attack against them and they copy the attack, that attack would be copied at a captain level. But again, if you were to say use Yamamoto or I don't know, Shunsui, Aizen, whatever, their abilities towards just a standard captain attack opponent, which I do believe the Doctor would be, they just would not be as strong. So ultimately, it's a catch-22 here. Similar to kind of like Tokinada's, but Tokinada just, all he has to do is see something, know something. All he has to do is see an attack, and he would be able to copy it. Here, the attack does need to reflect the information back. The Bankai basically is slamming the shield, and it creates basically a wave-like barrier around it. Anything scanned is copied into the Zanpakuto, which immediately means that it sounds the same, but there's no visual cue, there's no scanning. It's just a large dome, and anything that is scanned is copied, which means, hey, I've copied that tree. Hey, I've copied the way the Reiatsu in these buildings have gone. Hey, I just scanned Byakuya, Ichigo, Kenpachi, Mayuri. All of their abilities are immediately now in this Zanpakuto. In theory, it could work in the sense of even scanning a person's Reiatsu and bringing your Reiatsu up to their level. It is in theory, it could be a very dangerous ability. However, there are caveats to this ability. A, the Bankai has a range. You're not going to be able to just scan the entire world or anything like that. B, and the more importantly, no matter what you've scanned, no matter what, it will just phase it. For instance, if, say, Byakuya Zenbon Zakura was to come at the doctor scans it in the fight, after releasing it, uses the attack, and thinks he's beaten Byakuya, the fight's over. He reseals his Zanpakuto. Byakuya shows he's still alive, and comes out again with an attack. He's not going to be able to immediately reuse Zenbon Zakura. He has to rescan something. This, I think, actually works out perfectly with the concept of the doctor having basically to always reincarnate and then restart again, more or less, and start fresh. So you're not going to always have a constant level of information available. You're going to, even with the Bankai, you're going to need to rescan every time. Which means that if an opponent is just too fast for the doctor to scan, that's going to be a problem. Because to scan something, you need to be able to linger on it for at least a second or two. Think of how you or barcode something, just like that. That's basically, you have to be able to just scan something in order for it to work. So honestly, despite the fact that it's something that I think works well to the doctor's nature, it's not something that's broken either. It's not something that's hacks at all. I think it's balanced out pretty well. But this is just my opinion. What do you think in the comments below? Let me know. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you folks next time.